President-elect Obama did not put himself forward as an African-American president. He put himself forward as an American who happened to be black, who happened to be African-American, and that ought to come after the title, because what he did in this campaign was to be all-inclusive, to reach out across racial lines, cultural lines, religious lines, you name it. He wanted to be a transformational figure to bridge the gap between generations, and I think that's what allowed him to win this election. So we're very, very proud to have a new American president who also happens to be an African American, and that very fact moves us so far along the continuum that African Americans have been traveling for the last 230 years of our nation and for the last 400 years of the existence of colonies in America. And so I have to share in the pride that all Americans have now for the fact that America did this. And as I watched finally one of the newscasters cut to the chase and said, "He's won, it's over." Pretty moving moment.
There was a tear.
Everybody cried. And when you saw all of the crowds in Washington, in New York, Chicago, look what we did. Look what we did.
And it hasn't worn off yet,
no.
by the look on your face.
No, I'm not ashamed of it. My family, my wife, my kids, everybody. Whether you voted for Mr. Obama or not, you have to take enormous pride in the fact that we were able to do this. We were able to have a contest between two political parties, 4 different candidates, 2 on either side, competing in that typical American way, which is hard fought. You fight for your position. It's what our founding fathers intended. They wanted a clash of ideas, and from that clash of ideas, the people are informed and the people make their choice. Now, the people have made their choice, and both gentlemen, Senator McCain and President-elect Obama, both said the same thing. This is now over. Let's come together. We are all Americans again, and let's pursue a new agenda, an agenda of transformation, an agenda of change, and let's get on with the challenges that we are facing and solve those challenges.
For even one moment there, when you were watching that speech, did you think that could have been me?
No, never. I made an informed choice some 13 years ago, and I've never looked back at it. It was a correct choice for me and for my family, so I am overjoyed that Barack Obama has succeeded.
Would you serve in an Obama administration?
Well, I haven't been asked, and I'm not looking for service. I'm not looking for a job, and I don't expect to be offered a job. I think I might be able to be of some use from the outside because of the experience I've had as a national security advisor, as chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, and as Secretary of State. But I'm not looking for a position, and I do not expect to be offered a position.
There were some McCain supporters who seemed to hold, these are ordinary Americans, who seemed to hold a sincere view that an Obama presidency would make them less safe. What would you say to address those fears?
I think it was an unfounded concern. Why would an Obama presidency make them less secure? He knows the challenges we face. He sees our potential enemies. He also sees great opportunities in the world. He also sees the opportunity of working with our allies around the world, and yes, talking to those who are adversaries of ours. But he's as committed to the security of this nation as anyone else, and I think those fears were unfounded. I'm quite confident that he will surround himself with good, strong security advisors at State Department and elsewhere in the government, and his national security advisor, and they will be very clear-eyed about the challenges we face and what has to be done.
What do you think is the biggest problem, the biggest issue that he faces?
Right now, it's economics. The American people voted in this election to have something done about our economic situation. I think it's what shifted the election in the direction it did in a very marked way over the last 4 weeks. And that has to be priority number 1 for him. Secondly, he has to restore a sense of confidence and optimism in the American people. And you saw that. It happened